shade from this outfit. This side, this side, this side, this side, to your little eyeball. Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you my makeup do's and my makeup don'ts. If you have done any of these or all of these, don't worry, because I have done all of these all at one time. That's how I can easily tell you what's not to do, because I've done them all. Either done these makeup don'ts because of a trend that I wanted to do that I thought would fit my face, which actually doesn't, or because I just didn't know. And it's okay to not know, because it's a learning experience and you get better and you grow from it, and then you can eventually teach someone else how to do a technique a little bit better or different so that it helps them and their makeup skills. You don't start off as a professional makeup artist. You don't start off as being amazing at makeup. You start from somewhere and you grow. So don't worry about it. This is a learning experience. I'm here to help you through some of those skills and some of those experiences and get better and grow for yourself. And I hope that you enjoy this tutorial. If you want to learn how to get this and learn how not to do this, go ahead and keep watching. The first thing I'm going to start off with is prepping the skin. I think that's the most important part, and I'm not going to put primer on this side. It will be my good side. I'm going to use Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. I like this one because it fills in the pores and it just leaves like a smooth, even surface. It's a silicone-based primer. Grandma's in town, can you tell? And on this side, it's just not gonna last as long. The next thing I'm gonna do is foundation. I'm gonna use a foundation that is gonna make me look a little bit more tan, because I like looking tan and I used to do this mistake so often. It's not cute at all. I learned throughout the years that this is not the way you choose your foundation. This is a color I would like to be. This is my face. This doesn't even match my neck. Or some people, what they'll do is try to match their face, but then it won't match their neck or the rest of their body. I'm just gonna rub it around, which is another thing you don't wanna do. Don't just rub your foundation around, because if you rub it around your face, you're not gonna get the most coverage. This actually kind of matches. Maybe this was the wrong foundation. It's kind of weird just to do one side of your face. I'm trying not to blend it. This is the color I would like to be. It just looks so cakey right now. I need a makeup wipe. On the do side, you do want to choose a shade that is close, not to your face color, but to the neck. Anything that's gonna match your neck and chest is gonna match the rest of your body. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of this foundation, and I'm gonna take my beauty blender, because the beauty blender soaks up all the excess foundation so you don't get too much on your skin. It just gives you the most flawless coverage and application. So I'm gonna take my beauty blender and lightly bounce it on your skin. I don't really focus on the under eye area too much. I kind of just lightly go over it just to even out the skin tone, because I'm gonna go ahead and go in with concealer in this area, so leave it how it is and really focus on the rest of the face. A lot of people want to use the brightest concealer that they have. I would literally just follow where my under eye circle is, and voila. Hi old self. This is what I would do. Literally, I would just focus on where my circle was, the lightest concealer I had, because I didn't want them to be dark, duh. That is not what you want to do. You don't want to go too light, because you're just attracting attention to that area. It makes it look like you're trying to cover something up, and it also accentuates the shape of the circle. What you want to do, choose a shade that's about 2 shades lighter than your under eye, and I'm using this light medium shade from Tarte. Take it where the inner corner is, bring it all the way down past the under eye. You see how it starts to curve there? We're gonna go past that, and then we're gonna bring it up all the way up here to the cheekbone and fill it in. Make a V shape under your under eye area. It looks seamless. It blends into your face, your foundation. You don't see a harsh line or a reverse raccoon eye. It just looks a lot brighter and a little bit more lifted than your other eye. The next thing is going in super heavy with powder on your face without your foundation or concealer drying. So let me give you an example. I'm gonna go ahead and take my powder, load it up, and start to pack it on my face. It's just gonna get really patchy looking. It's not gonna look good. So on this side, what I'm doing after everything has dried, I'm gonna go ahead and set my under eyes with a translucent powder. I'm gonna be using this powder right here from Laura Mercier. And just add a little bit of translucent powder to that area. Let it sit there for a little bit. This is called baking. So once you let it sit for a few minutes, you're just gonna dust it off. This is gonna help your under eye from creasing. You can kind of already see the creases. This is just gonna smooth out everything. After I've done that, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with a powder. Then I'm just gonna lightly start to pat it onto my skin. This is gonna help everything else on top of it go on a lot smoother. It's also going to help it really adhere to the skin, and so your makeup is going to last a lot longer. So the next thing I'm going to do is contouring. I'm going to go ahead and take my Urban Decay Beached Bronzer in Sunkissed, which is one of my favorite bronzers. I'm going to go in with my little paddle brush, is what it looks like to me. Start to contour my cheekbone. First mistake is I'm going in with an orange bronzer. I am going way too low, and you don't want to go too low on your cheek or too close to the corner of your mouth. So bronzer is used to warm up your face, and contour is to create a subtle shadow that your face would naturally have. This is definitely something that I've seen, something that I've done, and never want to do again. But what you do want to do, I'm gonna use this Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and in this palette, take something that's going to be a little bit more ashy or on the gray tone side. So I'm going to take this shade right here and start to contour my cheekbone on this side. If you look at your face and you kind of just like look around, don't look at this side, look around, you'll notice that you naturally have like a gray tone shadow. It's just the way the light hits your face. So you want to kind of mimic that shadow by enhancing that depth. So you want to go ahead and take something like this. I'm actually going to take a little bit of this shade and this shade together. And then you want to use something that is a little bit more precise. That's going to give you that precise definition. What I'm going to do is go very close to my hairline and start to work in that contour shade. When I blend it, I'm not going to move past this area. I'm going to keep the contour shade behind the apples of the cheekbone, and then I'm going to blend it upwards, not down, because if you go down, then you're going to create this 5 o'clock shadow. And then for contouring the nose, you go straight down your nose. Well, I shaved off a few inches of my nose. It actually draws more attention to my nose. So what I'm gonna do for the right side of my nose, so I'm gonna use the same shade, except on this side, I'm gonna start here and lightly sweep it the midsection of my nose, like right in here. You can already see the shadow and it's kind of thinning it out. And then once I get to the tip of the nose, I'm just going to focus it in a V right here. So the next thing I'm going to do is my cheeks. So I'm going to take this brush and just start to go in. I was on the dance team for my entire high school years, so I used to love blush. Having a ton of blush was just common in the dance team. Everybody knew. We were trained that people want to see your makeup from way far away, high up in the bleachers, and during competitions. So we would put on a ton of blush. So literally I would start here and just go in like my life depended on it, but I would make sure I'd get the apples of the cheeks. I had this big Mary Kay kit and I would use that bright reddish pink blush all the time, and I thought it was the hottest thing. So this is what you don't do. You don't want to go all the way on your apple, smile, and just rub it in. What I like to do, not to say that this is the only way to do your blush, because I feel like using a blush brush is completely fine, but I like to use a stippling brush because I feel like it gives you the freshest looking wash of color. So what I'm gonna do is take my blush. This is like a peachy pink shade. It's all about the pressure that you put on your face. That's gonna change your makeup game so much. Take my brush and work it towards the apple, the mid apple, and sweep it back like this. Just adds a really natural light flush of color. So now I'm gonna move on to the brows, which are really interesting. So I'm gonna take my Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil and start to fill in my brows, and I'm gonna use a heavy hand, and I feel like I'm missing so much of my brow that I'm just gonna fill it all in and create a little box in front because the front is so light. This is something that you definitely don't want to do. I feel like we've all done this mistake that is just way too dark. So what you do want to use is a very light hand and focus on the areas where you have the least amount of hair. And I like to start right at the bottom to add definition here. And I'm using the lightest feathery touch to my brow. I already have hair right here, so I'm not gonna go over this spot. Stay right here where there's like 5 or 6 good long strands. Mimic their hair shape. And you want to fill in your brows. You want to fill in that area so that it matches the outline, but you want to use the lightest hand. The beginning of your brow is light and feathery. Gradually go into the darkest midway. And then if you have if you want to add a few more hairs to the front, just use very light feathery strokes, but you're not going in like a block. And then with the spoolie side, I'm just gonna brush through the brow so that everything is nice and even. This brow is a lot more natural looking, light and feathery. This one is just a big stamp. So moving on to the eyeshadow, a mistake that I see is using a shimmery shadow on your crease. So I'm gonna take this brown shadow right here, just going to work this directly onto my crease. It's fine that it's dark, but the only thing is it's shimmery. So it's kind of defeating the purpose of creating depth because it's attracting light to your crease. I'm gonna bring it down right where the crease is. Let's just blend out the edges. Let's just say that I tried to blend at least. But what I do wanna use is this matte warm taupe shade right here. This is going to give your eye dimension, add depth, and also give you the appearance of more lifted eye. So I'm gonna apply it just above the crease using a light hand. You're gonna notice using a light hand is the most important part of doing your makeup in general, just so that you have more control of the intensity. So using a very light pressure is the best way to go. I'm not gonna focus too much on every step of do's and don'ts for eyeshadow because there are so many that could be a completely different video. For the eyeliner, what I used to do, take the eyeliner here, curl it up, and then bring it in all the way like that. Some people might think that's cute. I sure did. I would want a really full, thick wing, and I want to curl it up all the way to the brow. I just wanted this crazy Amy Winehouse cat eye. On this side, what you want to do with your eyeliner is create elongated eye shape that's going to look flirty and pretty, and you want your eyes to look lifted. Start here and work my way outwards. Do elongate your eyeliner, lining it up to the tail end of the brow. So on this side, it just looks a lot more clean and something that you could wear every day. For the lashes, my old clubbing days, I would get these Ardell lashes and I would get the thickest ones they had, the thickest. These are the double up lashes. It literally looked like Hitler's mustache. I thought this was cute. I would apply a thick layer of glue, and when they wouldn't stick in the amount of time that I needed to go out, I would get so mad and so frustrated. And if I didn't have my lashes on, I was not going out. It was like a part of my soul, my being, covered my entire eyelid. Now we're gonna move on to a lash that's gonna look a lot better for your eye shape. So you can still see the shape of your eye, you can still see the eyeshadow. It's just a lot softer. And then after I'm done with applying my lash, then I'm gonna put some mascara on, brush them up to the false lash, and then go back in, mesh the two together. So you get one even looking lash. So if I did a little bit more on the eyeshadow, then you would be able to see all the work that I did. Also, it just accentuates your natural eye shape really, really nicely and lifts your eye up. Highlight can either make you look beautiful, glowing, or it can make you look like a porous, spongy disco ball. So I'm going to take this Urban Decay Sin highlight, and I'm just going to apply a nice amount of highlight. It's going to accentuate all your pores. So I have to use it strategically on my face. What I'll do is take it right where the light will hit it. So like right here, but I don't have so many pores there. But you're still going to give yourself that really fresh, glowy look. And then now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the lips. I love a nude lipstick. Myth is one of my favorites. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply it on my lip. This is obviously too light, but it doesn't mean that I can't use it. What I would suggest you guys do is use a lip liner, like so. So I'm just gonna go ahead and line my lip, and then I'm just gonna go in a little bit further on the inner corners. So now we have a defined lip shade. Take the same nude lipstick, work it right over the lip. So now it just looks like you have a gradient lip. It looks lighter in the center, and then it gets darker. I think it's just a lot more flattering this way. This one's just like putting concealer on your lip, basically. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this do's and don'ts video. If you've done any of these, let me know in the comments. Or if you do them right now, let me know. If you haven't checked out my last 2 videos, they're gonna be below my box to check out. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already so you can stay updated with all the things that I'm doing here on YouTube. And that's it. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, dollies.